Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2013 Pro Bono Institute Annual Dinner. Please welcome our MC for the evening, Jim Jones, Chair of the Pro Bono Institute Board of Directors.
Wow, this is really quite a group. You know, if we keep growing, we've almost outgrown this space. It's great to see you all. Good evening, everybody. On behalf of the board of the Pro Bono Institute, I want to welcome everybody to this 2013 PBI Annual Dinner. And before I say anything else, I regrettably have an announcement to make. As some of you probably have noticed, the founder and president of PBI, Esther Lardent, is not able to join us this evening. Esther became ill on a recent trip to Vietnam, where she was participating in a program to encourage and support the development of pro bono services in Southeast Asia. She is now back in Washington. She's under the treatment of her doctors. She is recuperating and resting. And while there have been some improvement in her condition, her doctors really strongly recommended to her that she needed to continue to rest and not make the trip to New York for this evening. Now, those of you who know Esther know that she's a pretty strong-willed lady. And this advice was not particularly willingly received. Because there's no place on earth that Esther would rather be than right here with all of you this evening. However, I'm pleased to say that after some consideration, she regretfully decided, wisely I think, to follow her doctor's advice, so she cannot be with us this evening. She did make a point, however, of telling me that I should be sure to say to all of you that she extends her greetings and her heartfelt thanks for all of the support that all of you have given to PBI over the years, and also for the support that you have given to the cause of pro bono. I know that all of you join me in extending to Esther our very best wishes for a speedy and complete recovery, and I will certainly pass that on to her. The theme of this evening's event is collaborating for justice, and it is in that vein that I think it's particularly heartening to see so many representatives of law firms and law departments and legal service organizations coming together to celebrate and support the importance of pro bono as we strive together to fulfill the highest goal of our democracy, the promise of equal justice for all. Delivering on that promise has been the guiding principle of the Pro Bono Institute, a small but determined organization that has for the past 17 years worked tirelessly to embed pro bono as a core value of the legal profession and as a critical element in ensuring access to justice. Working with the remarkable people in this room, leaders of law firms, chief legal officers of major corporations, judges, heroes of the public interest movement, and others, we have come a very long way toward reaching our audacious goal. But we have a long way still to go. Hence the particular importance of our gathering this evening. One of our purposes tonight is to honor those law firms and law departments that have exhibited special dedication to the high ideals of pro bono service, organizations that have gone the extra mile in delivering on the promise of access to justice. And one of the awards that we will present this evening is named for a remarkable man, John Pickering, one of the founding partners of Wilmer Cutler & Pickering, the firm now known as Wilmer Hale. John was a true giant of our profession, a role model for many of us, including, I might add, for me, and an active supporter of the work of PBI from the very beginning. Indeed, John, acting on behalf of his firm, was actually the very first signatory to the law firm Pro Bono Challenge, beating me by about 15 minutes, which he never let me forget. And so it is very appropriate that our award for extraordinary pro bono achievements by a law firm is named for John. And here to present this year's Pickering Award is Louis Cohen from WilmerHale.
I don't think I've ever been ushered up to a stage by music before. Thank you, Jim. I, too, want to begin with John Pickering, who was my partner for more than 30 years. It's been said that the radiance of a leading lawyer has a remarkably short half-life. Lawyers are better at making strong impressions during their lifetimes than at doing things worth remembering long after. But John Pickering, whose career stretched back to World War II, still shines strong in this century. He was a creator of Wilmer Cutler Pickering, now Wilmer Cutler Pickering Hale and Dorr, or WilmerHale for short, a glorious firm, and he was one of the inventors of large law firm pro bono work. Before the Pro Bono Institute and the American Lawyer and others were keeping score, John was not just telling us youngsters, you can see how long ago this was, that the firm expected them to do pro bono work. He was rolling up his own sleeves for the less fortunate and minorities and women and the aging and the protection of other pro bono lawyers and the excellence of the courts themselves. John had a couple of walls full of awards, but one of the ones he would have loved most was the first Pickering Award from the Pro Bono Institute. The firm and the family treasure that, not only because it is named for him, but because it comes from an organization that has pursued with energy and imagination and skill the goal of encouraging and helping and prodding law firms and business corporations and individual lawyers to serve the people who often need lawyers most, who cannot afford to pay us. PBI's job is no sinecure. Law firms and lawyers within them, lawyers at every level, are, so to speak, giving away valuable inventory, the hours that they could otherwise sell. They need more than assurance that those hours are valued. They need help using them effectively. And PBI gives them both. Pro bono work comes in lots of kinds, helping individuals who confront the law or confront other people, or who simply need guidance, litigating the great issues of the times, and trying to make the law work better for groups of people for whom life is difficult. The 2013 Pickering honoree, Alston and Bird, has labored in all of these fields, but perhaps its most important work has been in the last field I mentioned, identifying groups of people for whom the law could work better and making it do so. The firm has taken a special interest in, for example, the rights of children, the rights of parents whose children have been removed from them, the needs of senior citizens, the needs of immigrants seeking asylum or permanent status or to escape from domestic violence, or escape from human traffickers. The need to expunge criminal records so that people can get on with their lives. The needs of people anticipating the end of life for wills and estate plans and similar guidance. One Alston and Bird project that should win some sort of "why didn't I think of that" award is their truancy intervention project, aimed at assisting the population of kids who are chronically absent or tardy from school by intervening early and positively in their lives. That idea has been replicated in many other places, and deservedly so. As PBI's description says, Alston and Bird develops impact projects designed to bring about large-scale systemic change. It's personally rewarding to represent an accused criminal who needs a lawyer, and it's a thrill to represent the League of Women Voters in the Supreme Court. But if you ask what kind of pro bono work does the most good, gets the most bang for the buck, it is work that changes the lives of groups of people for the better. And Alston and Bird does that exceedingly well. And therefore it is an honor on behalf of PBI and indirectly on behalf of John Pickering and Wilmer Hale to present to Richard Hayes of that firm the 2013 Pickering Award. Richard, where are you?
Well, thank you, Lou. Appreciate it. It is a truly an honor to receive this award. So let me start by thanking Wilmer Hale and Lou and all of my friends and colleagues there, as well as the Pro Bono Institute for all that they have done to bring this wonderful event about. It is especially gratifying to receive an award in the name of John Pickering. His career, his contributions to our profession, and his legacy in pro bono certainly has set an aspirational standard for all of us to follow. And so being recognized as a law firm in the legacy of John Pickering and in that tradition is truly a special honor for us. As many of you probably know, Pickering clerked on the United States Supreme Court for Justice Frank Murphy. And he attributes a big part of his commitment to pro bono to the clerkship and the mentoring relationship that he developed with Justice Murphy over that time. And so he explains that his commitment to pro bono comes from and was influenced through the justice's insistence that the law be used as a tool for the public good. Now, I also want to extend our appreciation to all of those at the Pro Bono Institute who have helped us, who have mentored us, and who have guided us through the years. Especially want to thank Esther, who could not be here, but we are thinking of her. Also Tammy and Rena and everyone else at the Institute who has provided us guidance and direction for so many years. The theme for tonight is collaborating for justice. What a wonderful theme. Working with others to do bigger and better things than we could otherwise achieve alone and all by ourselves. And that is particularly appropriate for Alston and Bird as I look around this room because I see such a wide and rich network of people that we've collaborated with for so long. Of course, there's the Institute, who has provided us that guidance and that direction as we've gone about trying to find new and creative ways to develop programs and policies. I see so many of you who are in the nonprofit legal provider world who have provided on-hands training and guidance to our lawyers. I see in-house lawyers and also others at law firms who we have partnered with across the country for new and innovative programs. I, of course, should not exclude our most cherished collaborators, and those are the clients who we represent and who we advocate for. It occurs to me that I graduated from law school 27 years ago and began my career. And I recall when I first arrived at Alston & Bird, they gave me an office, and they gave me a banker's box. And I sat there and I looked at that banker's box, and there were pens in it, and there was paper, and there was a timesheet in there. And there were all of the tools that anyone would need to begin their career. But what I remember most vividly was that in that box there was a sign-up sheet for Legal Aid Society's Saturday morning lawyers program, which is something that we would do. We would go once a month on Saturday morning to meet and be available for counseling and to get our assignments and to have opportunities to work with others. And it was really only after several years that I came to realize that Philip Alston and Judge Byrd had been vitally important in the development and the promotion of the Legal Aid Society in Atlanta dating back to 1924. And so I guess it is that vivid memory that highlights for me that we are mentored and we are guided and we are directed by more than the individuals, but rather we are put in that position and we're supported by the cultures around us. And so we're really part of a large, grand collaboration as we work together. And I feel so very fortunate to have been a part of that. I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge some of my personal collaborators and supporters who are here tonight. Many of my partners and others with Alston & Byrd. I would like to highlight Mary Benton, who is our pro bono partner, and also her predecessor, Terry Walsh, along with Cheryl Najah, who is our pro bono director and director of community service, both of whom work tirelessly every day to ensure that our pro bono programs thrive across all of our offices. So once again, thank you for recognizing Alston & Byrd. We look forward to continuing to celebrate all of the successes of the Pro Bono Institute, and we look forward to working with you and collaborating with you to make sure that we make access to justice a reality for more and more people. So thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Thomas Russo, Executive Vice President, Legal, Compliance, Regulatory Affairs, and Government Affairs, and General Counsel of American International Group.
Thank you very much. I have 4 minutes, and then you can have dinner. When I said that to my assistant, she said, "You'll never do it in 4 minutes." I don't know what she was talking about. I had first gotten involved with pro bono when I was at Cornell, and I ran the pro bono program there, and then I wrote all the procedures, and then I got involved with pro bono at Cadwalader. I was very much involved. One of my favorite pro bono clients were the street musicians in New York, and that was quite a treat to be in court quite often, representing fire eaters, etc. When I came to AIG 4 years ago, it was a very different time for AIG than it is now. We apparently owed $182 billion, and which is a lot of money, even by today's standards. And so we had to. We have a big legal department. Apparently, there are a lot of lawyers there. They got about 600 of them. And for all your law firms out there, we also pay $3 billion in outside legal fees. So I don't want to. I've become a very popular man. But we're trying to reduce that to about 2.7 or something. And so we did spend a lot of time on trying to pay back the government, which, as many of you know, we did, and with a handsome profit of about $22 or so billion. And so that we're very, very proud of. And but at some point, we decided as a legal department, I wanted to bring pro bono back. And I wanted to bring it back for a very important reason. I mean, I spent a lot of time on pro bono in my life. And I've found that you think of pro bono as giving something, it's really taking. You become so much of a better person for it. The beauty about, if you look at what you want out of life, you want happiness, you want contentment. There's a great Jewish philosopher, Martin Buber, who talked about mutuality of giving. And pro bono is exactly that. Pro bono is giving, and you always get more back. We started with zero. I asked Eric Holbrook, who is here now, to help start a program. And in the course of, I guess, 2 years, we now have over 100 of our 600 lawyers involved in it. We have at least 24 different projects, and some of them are really quite special. And it's growing. We have people working on pro bono projects in lots of countries, including we have 3 people working in Dubai on it. And I think it's going to grow a lot further. And my hope is that it will instill a culture in a very big company with lots of lawyers, that they will see that by giving you get more, and I think it creates a culture that prides itself not only in paying back $182 billion, but in doing things that are really worthwhile for not only the people we serve, but for ourselves. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the stage Jim Jones.
A little traveling music, maestro. AT&T Senior Executive Vice President and General Counsel Wayne Watts has been a pro bono thought leader and a model for his peers in Texas, where he serves on the Texas Access to Justice Commission. Since being appointed General Counsel of AT&T in 2007, Wayne has led his law department's effort to create an active, engaged, and innovative pro bono program across the country. Today, AT&T's lawyers and legal staff are doing work in a wide variety of substantive areas and with a diverse group of clients throughout the United States. From offering legal advice to seniors to immigration counseling and representation on consumer debt issues, and from working with clients on wills and health care directives to criminal representations and work with small business clients, AT&T's lawyers and legal staff are making a difference every day in communities across the country. And in doing this work, they have embraced a collaborative model, partnering with law firms, public interest organizations, law schools, and others to make good on the promise of equal justice for all. I'm honored to introduce a true champion of pro bono, Wayne Watts.
Jim just gave me the same advice I give my lawyers sometimes when I give them an assignment. He said, don't screw it up. I'm delighted to be here with you tonight. As Jim mentioned, we started a program at AT&T that I'm extremely proud of. I not only allow lawyers and paralegals and staff to participate in this, I encourage it. I encourage it with our lawyers. I encourage it with our law firm partners. And I'm proud to tell you that this year, so far this year, over 25% of the lawyers in AT&T have participated in the pro bono program in some way, and I'm really proud of that. Thank you. We do this for three reasons, and they're pretty straightforward, frankly. First, one of the great strengths of our society is fairness and equality before the law in a complex and regulated system. And if anybody knows anything about dealing with a complex and regulated system, it's me. Access to legal expertise, though, is critically important to ensuring that everyone gets a fair shake in this country. Second reason, pro bono makes us all better. Everybody at AT&T is better. We're better lawyers. We're better people. We pick up new skills. We understand our community better. We work as a team better. We don't do it to get better for ourselves. It just happens. But third and most important, you can change people's lives. At AT&T, we've provided assistance to those new to our country through the DREAM Act, the National Immigration Justice Center, and our Chicago team. This is for deferred action for undocumented students. The KIND program in California, Kids in Need of Assistance, represents children who are unaccompanied when they immigrate to this country. Can you imagine coming to a country alone and somebody reaches out their hand and says, let me help you? AT&T lawyers do that. The Human Rights Initiative in Dallas, where we volunteer to help people in asylum cases. Those are just some of the things we do. I won't tell you all, but those are some of the things we do to help people. But you know what? Everybody in this room, you're here tonight because you do the same thing. And we have leaders in the pro bono program, and it's my honor to introduce someone who represents the literally millions of people who benefit from pro bono work. Somebody who their life is different. Their life has been changed. Joining us tonight is a gentleman named Crispin Ilombe. Because of the pro bono services that Alston and Bird, tonight's Pickering Award winner, provided, Crispin is in America. He's found the gift of freedom and security in our country. It's a gift he did not have until he came here and until lawyers reached out and said, let us help. So let's hear what Crispin has to say about what it's like to receive that gift. Thank you.
My name is Crispin Ilombe, a former priest from Congo. My journey to this podium was a long one. My story has a happy ending because I got help from Alton and Bird, and I want to share that story tonight with you. In 2009, I had a master's degree in moral theology at the Yale School of Theology in California. My thesis addressed the topic of HIV/AIDS as prevention and a basic human right in Congo, my home country. conducting my research in that area opened my eyes to basic human rights and to liberation theology. After graduation, I was assigned a job as a pastor in Congo in a very poor parish. And there I was witness of the situation of my parishioners suffering from the poverty and lack of comfort as food, medication, water, and safe roads. I struggled with my duty as a pastor because for me, it was very hard to make good news good in the midst of suffering. The corrupt government of Congo had no concern for the poor people of Kinshasa, and they were only spending money for housing and vehicles. Their lack of care for those people incited me and pushed me to not keep quiet and to begin to talk and to speak out against the government. So in my homilies and sermons, I began to talk against the government, and the authorities were informed about my content of my homilies, and then I was arrested many times, 3 times. During the course of my arrest, I was tortured, I was beaten, my mother was beaten, both my sister and my cousin were raped by the Congolese soldiers. Finally, a friend of mine who was a police member told me that the authorities were planning to kill me and asked me to flee Kinshasa and to go as far as I could. He told me if I did not leave that night, I could be killed. And the night I left the rectory, soldiers went to the rectory to look for me. Without knowing where I was going, I found myself two weeks later in a small village called Kasongolunda. And there I met a young woman, Mrs. Rose, who was able to hide me for months. I spent months with her. We fell in love, and as a result, I was obliged to leave the priesthood. But somehow, even living there, the government was able to find me again, and I was again arrested in that village. The soldiers were planning to transfer me to Kinshasa, but they were delayed due to the bad road conditions and the lack of vehicles. During that time, Rose was able to bribe my escape by giving $500 to the soldiers. And then those soldiers allowed me to leave the prison and to escape. And Rose and I, we traveled during the night, going south in a small village called Kasongolunda. At one point, however, I was able to access my email and contact my friends in California who sent me an invitation letter to leave Congo and to come to the US. With that letter, I was able to schedule a visa interview on September 6, 2011. The interview had to be conducted in Kinshasa, and to avoid all the checkpoints in the road, I was forced to disguise myself. I was terrified that I could be discovered and the travel was very slow. Somehow, my interview went very well and I was granted the visa to come to US, and then I left Congo on September 12, 2011. I was welcomed by friends at San Francisco Airport in California and was housed for 1 month in St. Davis of Wells Parish. After that, I came to Georgia, where I met a friend of mine who took me in. And once in Atlanta, I was now led to contact Georgia Asylum and Immigration Network, which helped me to find pro bono attorneys from Alton and Bird. And there I was lucky to have 5 pro bono attorneys. 5 pro bono attorneys from Alton and Bird accepted my case. And from December 2011 to May 2012, I was working with them to prepare my I-589 application for asylum and withholding to stay in the U.S. And during that time, I drafted a declaration, but requested for a letter of support from my friends and families who attested the danger we face in Congo, and also worked with the experts who attested the danger if I went back home and it was possible to be killed. My application for asylum was filed on May the 2nd, and I had my asylum interview on August 2nd, 2012. Only 8 days later, I was granted asylum because my dream team did a very good job. That was a very good job. I have to confess tonight that I am who I am because of the wonderful job of my dream team, my pro bono attorneys. Tonight, I am overexcited for this opportunity to express my gratitude to my dream team and to thank Alton and Bird for their commitment to helping people like me. I wish all the best to Alton and Bird and hope my pro bono attorneys achieve even greater success in the future. Thank you. Thank you again.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Judge Lori Zelon, California Court of Appeal.
Good evening. We're talking about collaborations and working together. And what do we work together for but to hear stories like the one we just heard? And never forget that what we do is for people, for human beings who we bring hope to and help to and make their lives better. And collaboration can help us do that. You know, thinking about old problems in new ways is one of the ways in which we make progress together. That progress and thinking about things differently has been the hallmark of the Pro Bono Institute and the unifying principle of the career of its president, Esther Lardent. I stand here tonight for my friend Esther, for your friend Esther, carrying with me her thoughts, her hopes, and her best wishes to all of you. And tonight I have a very singular honor. We are going to present tonight, for the very first time, the PBI President's Award. This award is to recognize extraordinary contributions to PBI's mission, but more than that, really meaningful leadership in pro bono. Tonight's recipient is Deloitte, and Deloitte has made this work an extraordinary commitment of its own. If you look in your program, you will see that since 2008, they have given close to 365,000 hours of pro bono, which is extraordinary. And if that were all Deloitte had done, that would be deserving of our recognition. But there is so much more. They have served as innovators and thought leaders, and they have truly blazed a trail that others can now follow. And so it is in recognition of the kindred spirit that is shared by PBI and Deloitte that I am thrilled to present this award tonight to our board member, my friend, and a great leader, David Williams, who will be accepting on behalf of Deloitte.
I'm going to put that down to make very sure that I don't break it. Distinctly possible with me, as many people in the room know. Getting that is way cool. It is, to use a technical term, it's the first time since my time in kindergarten, 25 years ago, that I've received an award. So I'm truly blessed to receive one. All kidding aside, I'm here to accept this award on behalf of Deloitte and on behalf of our people. Thank you so much, PBI, for this special honor. We are absolutely humbled by this recognition, especially from PBI, which has been, since I've been involved, a great source of personal inspiration for me. A giant in transforming, being transformational with regard to pro bono. You hear a lot about PBI's size or lack thereof. I like to think about them as a small staff, but with an absolutely fearless mentality about this subject. You simply energize us to do more. Everybody in this room does more because of PBI, and for that, I thank PBI as well. My friend Esther is not with us tonight, as you know. I would be remiss if I did not recognize Esther for an award she got from the American Lawyer, one of their top 50 innovators. I want to say this because I know Esther will be watching the tape, and Esther, it's a huge distinction for you, all kidding aside, and all of us who work beside you, who have worked alongside you, understand how deserving you are of an award regarding innovation. For me personally, partnering with PBI has been a standout opportunity. I'd also like to thank each and every one of you. This room is a celebration of the advancement of pro bono. The stories we've heard tonight have just simply been outstanding. So my view of the world is very simple. I am among giants in this room as well, and I'm humbled to be here with you, so thank you very much for that. Despite all the awards, all of the great fun we're having tonight, there's still work to be done. Some of you remember that last year I stood on this podium and I challenged this room to continue to lead through pro bono to change the collective circumstance of our communities and our folks. I'm pleased to say that everybody in this room is a living demonstration of the fact that you've accepted that challenge. There are a couple quotes that come to mind when I think about leadership, collaboration, and most importantly, change. The first one is from Marianne Pearl. I think you guys would recognize the name. She is the widow of a Wall Street Journal reporter named Daniel Pearl, who unfortunately was slain by terrorists. She said, "The world belongs to us, and it also belongs to us to change it." I also think of one of my favorite lines from our president, President Obama, who says, "We are the change." Repeat, we are the change that we have been waiting for. Don't count on anybody else to do it. We are that change. At Deloitte, we take that responsibility seriously, that is, that responsibility to lead. Our pro bono work has taken us into classrooms and into congressional briefings to end child hunger. We've used technology like geospatial analytics, and there are actually people in the room who work for Deloitte who know what that means. If any of you would like to know what that means, I would send you to Table 5, where we've got a couple people who can actually explain it to you and how great it is. But what it helped us do was help the District of Columbia figure out where they should locate playgrounds so they would have the most benefit to the people who live in communities. We have forensic capabilities that have helped organizations stem global corruption and to help rebuild Haiti. And we've helped disadvantaged students get to and through college, as well as helping veterans re-enter the workforce. All of these things are things that we've done, and it's kind of embarrassing for me to, quite frankly, talk about the firm. We do this work because we can. Quite frankly, we do this work because we must. I want to leave you with this. When I think about the journey that we at Deloitte have taken here, there are two things that I am personally most proud of. The first one is that we have elected as an organization to put pro bono, and particularly our pro bono effort, at the same level of importance in our firm as our client service and other things that we do. That was a conscious choice. It's integrated into our business model. I think the number that Lori quoted, 365,000 hours, that's a mind-boggling number to me. Here's another mind-boggling number, and the second thing that I'm most proud of, and that's our people. Almost 65,000 people strong in the United States, many more around the world. They quite frankly set us apart. You guys know this because you work with them every day, working in your communities to make lives better for the folks who we do pro bono for. Not one of them believes that we are anywhere near where we as an organization need to be in terms of championing pro bono in our communities. That is the restlessness that exists in our firm around this topic. So you'll hear more from us. Hopefully there will be more awards in our future, but I'm honored to stand here tonight and represent my colleagues. It's why I do what I do every day, and on behalf of all of the professionals at Deloitte, I am truly grateful, and I thank you very much for this award.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Thomas Sabatino, Jr., Executive Vice President, General Counsel, and Corporate Secretary, Walgreen Company.
Wow. Good evening, everyone. This is quite a room. I'm really sorry that Esther could not be here tonight. She deserves to be here. She is just a tremendous person. And Esther, hi. How are you? I know she's going to look at this. I'm thankful that Esther allowed me to actually be up here on my own. A few years ago, Stacia Kelly couldn't make this at the last minute, and I was Stacia Kelly for the night. So I'm glad that I'm actually Tom Sabatino for the night, and I'm able to be here. For those of you who have been here, you know what I'm talking about. I am happy to be here tonight, and I am honored to be up here with so many terrific recipients and with my co-chairs who really have a passion for pro bono. It's very, very clear. I guess my job is to be a little bit of an historian tonight. And although I don't think of myself as one of those highly experienced general counsels, that's code for getting a little bit old, I've actually been around for quite a while. I have been a general counsel at 5 different companies. My wife says I can't keep a job. And I've been doing that for almost 20 years, and then I've been in-house for 25 years. And I've seen a lot of change in those years in the role of the in-house counsel. But one of the most exciting developments for me personally has been what I've seen during that time about the enormous pace of change and growth and momentum of in-house engagement in pro bono. 10 or 15 years ago, there were just a handful of law departments with formal pro bono efforts. Flash forward to today, there are literally hundreds, and many of those are represented in this room. And I cannot go to an event where we're talking about pro bono where I don't have at least one person from an in-house department come up to me and say that they are starting an in-house program. And that's very exciting for me to see over the course of this. In fact, although at Walgreens we've had a lot of people involved in pro bono for a number of years, until I got there 2 years ago, there was no formal pro bono program. As you might imagine, that's changed pretty dramatically, and we're trying to do what we can to help those in need. I think there are a number of reasons why we have this newfound growth in in-house participation rates. I think part of it is the growing recognition of the gap between unmet legal needs and available legal services that we're all trying to fill. In addition, I think in-house counsel have really begun to talk about, finally, our professional and ethical responsibilities as lawyers to give back. And more programs are being developed to accommodate the unique needs of the in-house bar. Frequently, the in-house bar have people who are not seasoned litigators or who don't work in geographic areas that are easily accommodating to traditional pro bono work. So we have to find new ways to engage the in-house counsel, and I think we've done that pretty effectively. So as a member of the Corporate Pro Bono Advisory Board and the immediate past chair of the Association of Corporate Counsel, I am especially proud of the collaboration between these two great organizations. Corporate Pro Bono, which was created and administered by ACC and PBI, has been a true catalyst for growth in the in-house pro bono area. CPBO has created leading-edge programs to both develop and build in-house pro bono efforts, and it has been a tireless advocate for pro bono services. And I'm proud to say that we have been instrumental in getting state rules, for example, changed to facilitate the ability of in-house counsel to provide services. And I was proud, Eve Runyon down here, just a few weeks ago, Eve and I participated in a roundtable with the Chief Justice of the Illinois Supreme Court, in which we were highlighting the new rule changes in Illinois, which allows in-house lawyers who are licensed from out of state but are practicing in Illinois for companies to directly provide pro bono legal services. Now, that may seem like a small thing to some people, but that's a major thing for in-house counsel who have been, who move around the country and are working in-house. And to have the ability to go out and provide those services directly to people is a really terrific thing for us to do. And really, this work came about because of this partnership. It educated the judiciary, collaborated with them, and helped facilitate the rule changes. And we are working on similar rule changes in a number of states, including right here in New York. So for those of you in New York, we're coming to get you to help us out on that one. This is just one example of how this collaboration between the voice of the in-house bar and the global expert, in my view, on pro bono, has produced so much good, more than any of us could have imagined. And rest assured, there's a lot more for us to do. So I am actually pleased. So I guess this is what happens when you're a co-chair. You get to introduce people who are going to actually introduce other people. But in my case, I get to introduce two really great friends of mine and really tremendous leaders in this effort. Laura Stein, General Counsel of Clorox. I think a lot of you know Laura, who is also the co-chair of Corporate Pro Bono. And my other great friend, Vita Richardson, the president of ACC, who will, in fact, recognize the next award winners, another groundbreaking collaboration. Come on up.
Cool. Hey, thanks so much, Tom. You're an awesome friend, and I couldn't be more honored to be introduced by an introducer of the soon-to-introduce, right, Vita? Okay. Hey, as Tom mentioned, I'm Laura Stein. I'm Clorox's General Counsel, and one of the coolest things in my life is that I get to be the advisory chair of Corporate Pro Bono, which Tom described to you. It's the partnership project between ACC and PBI. It's just great to be here because this is a really special evening, right, Vita?
Definitely.
We're cool. And so we just really want to celebrate the accomplishments of legal departments, law firms, public interest organizations, because together we're making a difference and hopefully helping people in need. And it's around the world, and it's just like phenomenal. So we all know that there is a huge, huge, huge unmet need for legal services to underserved communities, really, both in this country and in countries around the world. And so as Tom was describing, what's really a new development is that in-house legal departments are playing more and more of a vital role in fighting against this justice gap. And we're doing it both here, and we have law departments all around the world, so we're trying to do it around the world as well. So we're also doing it in partnerships with law departments and public interest organizations. So together, our in-house commitment to pro bono has increased the number of people out there trying to bridge this justice gap. And it also helps because if you get the in-house departments and in-house counsel involved, we're going to try to partner together to get resources there and find ways to get more support to those in need. And we try to, address unique problems and serve specific communities, as we've been hearing about tonight. So tonight's honorees are just really a fantastic example of how the in-house bar and in-house legal departments can play a really important role in bridging the justice gap. So the Pro Bono Institute, which, as we've discussed, is under the leadership of our beyond awesome friend and visionary Esther Lardent, is really awesome and encouraging partnership and collaboration among legal departments, law firms, and public interest organizations to really innovate and find solutions to transform legal services provided to the underserved. So the beauty of it is that when organizations join together, we can have an exponentially much larger impact than if we try to do it on our own. And then doing so, we can change the lives of those in need, and we can really do some special feats in the world of pro bono. So tonight, I have the honor to present with my wonderful friend and hero, Vida Richardson. Hero. She's cool. And so she's the leader, she's the president CEO of the Association of Corporate Counsel, and together we get to present the 2013 CPBO Pro Bono Award, and it recognizes a really wonderful in-house group in the Bay Area, I might add, where I'm homed, but also really recognizes the collaboration of when people partner together what they can do. So let me turn over to Vida.
Definitely. Thank you, Laura. I'm delighted to be here on behalf of the Association of Corporate Counsel and to be able to join in presenting the 2013 CPBO Pro Bono Award. The award annually recognizes projects and programs that demonstrate effective collaboration between law departments, law firms, and public interest organizations. And to receive this award, projects must provide a significant benefit to a local community. It must demonstrate a high degree of participation by in-house lawyers, and it must also employ an innovative approach to the delivery of pro bono services. The recipients of this year's award embody the spirit of cooperation and collaboration through their work, and they stand as examples of how partnerships can be used to address the needs of underserved communities. On behalf of Corporate Pro Bono, we are proud to announce the winner of the 2013 CPBO Pro Bono Partner Award, the Hewlett-Packard Company, in partnership with Morgan, Lewis & Bockius, and the National Veterans Legal Services Program for their collective work in support of veterans. Just a minute. I have more to say about you before you jump up too quickly. You're not going to get away that easily. In 2008, Morgan Lewis and NVLSP filed suit alleging a class of more than 4,000 veterans from Iraq and Afghanistan were unlawfully denied benefits. A partial resolution granted class members expedited access to review boards, creating an urgent need for lawyers to counsel members of the class. Hewlett-Packard partnered with Morgan Lewis and NVLSP to assist veterans with their applications to have their claims reheard. The partners also used an innovative knowledge management system that was developed by Hewlett-Packard to grant volunteers remote access to confidential documents for clients who were geographically dispersed. After the suit permanently settled, the partnership continued to provide legal advice to members of the class who were eligible for combat-related special compensation. And in 2010, the partnership further expanded, engaging professional staff at Hewlett-Packard who actively summarized files from the Board of Veterans' Appeals for those who sought pro bono assistance. In total, nearly 200 volunteers from Hewlett-Packard's legal department have volunteered in support of veterans. The value of the work done by Hewlett-Packard, its partners, as well as their innovative approaches to collaboration stand as a shining example of the ability of pro bono partnerships to provide assistance to a unique community in need. Accepting the award on behalf of the partnership is John Schultz, Executive Vice President and General Counsel of Hewlett-Packard. So please join us, and all the others, please join us too. We have Jim Pagliaro accepting on behalf of Morgan, Lewis, and Bacchius. Okay. And we have Bart Stitchman and Ron Abrams on behalf of NBLSP.
So thank you, Vida and Laura, and thank you, Esther, and please get well soon. I am honored to accept the 2013 Pro Bono Partner Award on behalf of Hewlett-Packard and our tremendous partners, Morgan, Lewis, and Bacchius and NVLSP, as well as the many attorneys and other professionals who have dedicated their time to supporting our veterans. There are a number of members of the HP, Morgan Lewis, and NVLSP teams here tonight, and I'd like to ask them to stand up and be recognized at this time. So please stand up. I'd also like to thank my predecessor, Mike Holston, who started the HP Pro Bono program 5 years ago, and Amy Hsu, my former colleague, who introduced the Veterans Initiative to HP. Mike had to leave tonight's event early, but Amy is still here, so I'm going to ask Amy to stand up and be recognized. Amy Hsu. He left early. Yes. The work for which we're being honored tonight reflects Hewlett-Packard's long heritage of giving back to local communities and making a difference for those in need. We launched our pro bono program 5 years ago, responding to the Corporate Pro Bono Challenge with a range of opportunities that engaged the team in rewarding and meaningful work. Today's pro bono program at HP is truly global in scope. We have attorneys and staff in 34 countries around the world engaged in providing pro bono services. Thank you. About 40% of all of the participants in our pro bono program and more than 1/3 of the total hours logged in that program are from attorneys and staff members outside the U.S., and we are really proud of that accomplishment. And I'd like to personally thank Bruce Ives, who is the head of pro bono at HP, for his tremendous leadership over the last 5 years in making HP truly a global leader in the pro bono world. So Bruce, please stand up and let us recognize you. We are certainly proud of the work that we've been doing around the globe, but we are especially proud of the project that is the subject of tonight's award, and that is the project that we've, in collaboration with Morgan Lewis and NVLSP.
to serve those veterans who have served our nation so well. You could not ask for two better partners. The NVLSP team, Ron and Bart, have been absolutely tremendous to work with, and they are on the front lines every day working for our veterans. I have personal experience with Jim and the Morgan Lewis team and know how dedicated they are to pro bono in general and to this community in particular, and I'm eternally grateful for them and the work they've done, and in particular Amanda Smith, a true leader in the pro bono industry. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Morgan Lewis. Our collaboration, the real power of partnership, has allowed us to make a real difference in a community that needs our assistance, and for that I am profoundly grateful. On behalf of my friends at Morgan Lewis, NVLSP, NHP, I'd like to thank the Pro Bono Institute and the Corporate Pro Bono for this award. Your recognition of this partnership and our work really, truly means the world to us. Thank you very much.
Just clean up, huh?
Wow. That was really neat, wasn't it? Okay. Well, thank you for joining us for this really amazing evening. In 1951, at another celebratory dinner here in this city, the 75th anniversary dinner of the Legal Aid Society of New York, Judge Learned Hand, in his address for that occasion, made his now famous observation that if we are to keep our democracy, there must be one commandment: thou shalt not ration justice. I believe that Judge Hand's injunction is as timely and important today as it was 62 years ago. And I regret to say that while we as a country have made substantial progress in pursuit of the ideal of equal access to justice, we still have a long, long way to go. Unfortunately, we still live in a nation where access to justice is all too often dependent on the size of your bank account, or the color of your skin, or your status as a citizen, or the language you speak, or the neighborhood in which you live, or a variety of other factors that should be irrelevant. And regrettably, we as a society have been reluctant to provide the resources needed to address this rationing of justice in our midst. And that is the reason that the amazing work that all of you do is so incredibly important. Without the 4.3 million hours of pro bono services contributed last year by the Pro Bono Challenge law firms, without the additional thousands of hours provided by the some 120 law departments participating in the Corporate Pro Bono Challenge, without the extraordinary pro bono programs such as those that we've heard about tonight of Alston and Bird and Hewlett-Packard and Morgan Lewis and the National Veterans Legal Services Program and Deloitte and AT&T and Walgreen and AIG, we would be much further away from achieving our essential goal of equal justice for all. All of you in this room represent what is truly best in our profession. And we at PBI are humbled and grateful for the opportunity to participate with you in this very important work. This will end our formal program, but we hope that you will all stay and enjoy after-dinner drinks and a dessert in the reception area. Thank you for coming, and good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our program for this evening.